So up here on this shelf above the paint booth, that's where I'll have room for the B25. I've already measured it. Hey everybody. Well, this was supposed to be a simple video about models in movies, like the background models here in Burt Lancaster's office in the 1970 movie Airport. But of course, we wound up going down a rabbit hole. I'm not even sure how this happened, but you'll notice on the desk there is one of the American SSTs. And that got me thinking about the TWA Mach 3 future jetliner by Lindbergh, which, by the way, Eric over at Celebrating Vintage Model Kits just did an entire video on. So go check that out. I'll see if I can't put the link in the description below. And I've always kind of wanted this kit, but just one of those things I just never pulled the trigger on. And I thought I'll go look on eBay. And I did find one for $70 right down the road here in Tallahassee. And about 3 hour drive from here. I'm like, oh, nah, but for some reason still don't want to pull the trigger because I'm a weenie. But it is, to me, one of the coolest kits out there. And it was a great concept, obviously based on the XB-70 bomber. And this came out in 65, 4 years, I think, before the Concorde flew, or including the Russian Tu-144. But everybody was talking about it. It was obviously being designed. But when I took a closer look at the model on Mel's desk, I realized, hey, that's not a Concorde. That's one of the American proposals for the SST, Supersonic Transport. However, the big TWA model is a Concorde, the actual French and British Concorde SST. And it looks a lot like this one that's in a museum in the TWA Museum in Kansas City. Now, I don't know if it's the same model or not. This particular model was made by a company that you're probably familiar with. It was made by Westway Aircraft Models Limited in the United Kingdom. Now, most likely, if you're watching this channel, you've seen that video from 1959 about young men building professional models for travel agents and things like that. That's the company. I think, was it Pathé or British Pathé or one of those history video channels keeps putting it up. But I'll see if I can't find it and link it below for those who may not have seen it. It's really cool. But apparently, the model somehow made its way into the hands of a retired TWA captain named Cooper Weeks, who had it apparently extensively restored and then put it on display in the museum. Now, it looks like it's bigger than the one in the movie, but I'm not sure. It could be the same one. I don't think so, but it really does have the look. But anyway, the point is that I was trying to find out what happened to these models that were used in the movie. I wasn't able to find out anything on them, nor what happened to the studio props, like the models they used for the external shots, or even what happened to this big model they made that Petroni showing what happened if the device goes off in the airplane. I'm guessing that was probably made just for the movie, but it could have just been a travel agent model. I remember seeing models like that in travel agencies back when they had those. For those of us who are old enough to remember the days before Expedia and Travelocity. But I also noticed that there's what I think is an American Airlines 707 on the desk over here. Now, I would love to know what happened to these models from the movie and probably wound up in some producer's office or something, or some props guy. But then you watch shows like A Sense of Scale on YouTube that I watch about all the Hollywood models, and you see these guys being there, being interviewed who built the models, and half the models are behind them on the shelf just collecting dust. I mean, to the producers, it's just a prop. I get it. To us, it's a sacred artifact. To them, it's just a studio prop. Anyway, I just all thought that was pretty cool. So I did manage to get some work done on the B25. Now, when I went out there, the first thing I had to do was remove the bulkhead from the nose. I had tack glued it in place so I could fit the gun nose. And guess what? It didn't want to come out. A little bit of airbrush cleaner softened it up enough I was able to pop it out. And now I had to put weights in the nose. So I used all of the tack-on weights that I had, and it's not enough. I believe you're supposed to put like 5.7 ounces in the nose so that it's not a tail sitter. And I ran out at about 3.5 ounces. So got to run off to Harbor Freight and get more sticky lead weights to put in there before I can put the nose on. I also fitted the gun barrels and made sure everything's going to fit. And a lot of other, little accoutrement. I started, got with the airbrush, you guys had said, mix some of that all drab with some buff, and it'll make some nice, age paint and fade paint, and it worked great. Now the ailerons and the elevators look the way I want them to, like they've been out in the sun fading faster than the metal. Touched up the rest of the airplane, made several different iterations of shading so I could get that not uniform look. Now that I've got that done, now they're not done. It's just that's as far as I'm going to go with it until I get the wings all put together and the decals on, and then of course I'll age it a little more that way once I get that in there. I actually considered model this big making stencils and just go ahead and brushing the insignia on. Every time I try that, it just winds up looking so rough. I just haven't quite got that down, and what happens is the frisket and stuff you use, it just never adheres the way it's supposed to. I guess the guys are using ultra low pressure on their airbrushes. Anyway, I'll stick with the decals probably. But I got started on the engines. And remember, I said these engines, each one was a kit into its own, and I wasn't kidding. I think the parts count was 65 parts, if I remember correctly. And ironically, the cylinder banks come as one piece each, which is nice. And at first, the engine goes together real easy. And unfortunately, I got some of the push rods in the back out of alignment, so things did not go according to Hoyle. I will fix that on the next engine. So this one I built today will no doubt be cowled up. The other one will be open cowling, which the kit is designed. All the cowling panels are separate, so that's great. I mean, no having to cut parts out to make the cowling exposed. I'm really liking this kit. Very well thought out. Now, once you get the engine, the basic engine with the cylinders and push rods in place, then the real tricky part is you start adding all the feed lines and exhaust pipes and all that stuff. And that gets a little hairy and really, really tight. But the instructions are adequate on how to do it. Look at some pictures of a real engine and it'll tell you right away, where everything goes. But it's easy to get stuff in backwards. There are a lot of very similar parts, pipes and tubes that look very similar, but they're not the same. You got to make sure you get all of them in the right place. Then once everything's in there, and then you put the cylinder heads on. You also have the main manifold, exhaust manifold in back that goes on, and a bunch of exhaust pipes that are going to hook to that later on. And they're really tricky to get in there. I mean, even though the instructions don't say to do it this way, I really think maybe you should put those exhaust manifolds in before you put the tubes and piping in. And I had trouble wiggling them into place around the piping. Then when you're done all that, you have all the separate exhaust pipes. I'm like, oh, the fun, it just never stops. But anyway, I'm going to do a lot better job on the next one. But and I got the panel liner in there to give some pop to the cylinders, the ones that you're going to see. Really impressed. Very snug fit, but they do fit. Hats off to HK Models. And let's see what else. Yeah, that's pretty much what I got done. That was the whole day just working on that. That's attention demanding work. But man, it looks pretty when you're done. Part of me just wants to make one of these engines and just hang it around my neck like a necklace. Look at what I built. I'm so proud of that. It's a thing of beauty when you're done. It's mechanics jewelry. I just made that up. That's pretty cool. Mechanics jewelry. And given that I'm a guy who, you want to see me damage an airplane, give me a screwdriver. Okay, guys. Well, that's pretty much what I did today. All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. Take care of yourselves. And as always, model on. Good God, Cat. Have some shame.